What's up, wrestling fans? You're watching Fight Talks News, the one-stop spot for every WWE headline and showdown. Subscribe now and ring that bell. Let's get started. The wrestling world was thrown into absolute chaos when a storyline twist no one could have anticipated hit the WWE Universe like a meteor. Fans who tuned in expecting the usual mix of excitement and entertainment were instead met with a dramatic upheaval, one that pushed emotions to their limits and made the boundaries between fiction and reality feel thinner than ever before. Seth Rollins, the architect, the visionary, the heartbeat of Monday nights, became the center of a narrative storm that left audiences speechless. This wasn't just another plot twist. It was a masterfully crafted story meant to shake the foundation of the company and force both fans and characters to confront hard questions about loyalty, power, and the price of being a performer in the world of sports entertainment. A night that took a dark turn. What started as a standard match escalated into something far more intense when a planned high-risk spot within the script went unexpectedly wrong, creating a moment so dramatic that fans around the world instantly sat up in shock. The arena fell silent as Rollins hit the mat hard, and the camera cut to performers, referees, and medical staff rushing toward him in a way that blurred the boundary between scripted drama and genuine concern. It was one of those moments WWE occasionally creates with chilling precision, a storyline designed to make viewers forget everything else and become completely absorbed in the fate of one man lying motionless in the center of the ring. A dangerous match setup exposed. The narrative took an even deeper twist when commentary began hinting that Seth had voiced concerns earlier in the night about the complexity of the match layout. This wasn't a real backstage situation, but a fictional storyline choice, one meant to add a layer of intrigue and tension. Within the story, Seth's warnings were brushed aside by characters focused on maintaining the flow of the show. The friction between performer safety and entertainment became a central theme, giving the storyline emotional weight and making every moment feel charged with meaning. WWE had created one of its most compelling narratives in years, a battle between ambition, pressure, and the overlooked dangers lurking beneath the spectacle. Then the injury that shocked millions. As scripted chaos unfolded, Seth's fall became the dramatic trigger for the entire story arc. Medical staff poured into the ring while commentators fell silent, selling the moment with heartbreaking realism. Fans felt the tension, felt the uncertainty, and felt the rising panic within the storyline as Seth struggled to move. It was crafted to be an unforgettable moment, one that made even longtime viewers question where fiction ended and reality began. The match was abruptly halted, the cameras lingered on reactions from the crowd, and social media exploded with worry as the show cut to an unexpected commercial break. Becky Lynch's heart-stopping reaction. When the show returned, the narrative took another emotional turn. Becky Lynch was seen rushing from backstage, breaking through security and dropping the boss persona in favor of pure, unfiltered emotion. Her involvement wasn't just a cameo, it was the emotional anchor of the storyline. She slid into the ring, grabbed Seth's hand, and demanded answers from anyone standing nearby. This wasn't a moment meant to build a feud or a rivalry. It was a moment designed to show love, fear, and panic, colliding under the bright lights of WWE. Fans watching didn't see the man. They saw a partner terrified for the person she cares about most. A love story interrupted. To make the emotional tone of the story even more powerful, the writers wove in the heartbreaking detail that Becky and Seth were supposed to celebrate their anniversary in a special later in the show. Instead of stepping into the ring smiling, they were suddenly thrust into a dramatic emergency storyline. Becky was shown pacing outside a fictional medical room backstage, wiping away tears, and whispering under her breath for Seth to hold on. It was a gut punch of a narrative, pairing the highest form of love with the lowest form of fear, creating a contrast that fans felt deep in their hearts. The WWE community responds within the storyline. Tributes began pouring in from every corner of the wrestling world. Superstars from the men's and women's divisions delivered emotional promos about what Seth meant to them as a performer and a person. Roman Reigns, positioned as Seth's Shield brother, stepped into the ring and delivered a speech that echoed through the arena, focusing on Seth's loyalty, leadership, and resilience. Even Dean Ambrose made a dramatic special appearance return strictly for storyline purposes, joining Roman in one of the most powerful, tear-filled hugs in WWE programming. It was a moment that reminded fans why the Shield once felt like family, not just to each other but to the entire audience. Triple H steps in as a leader. The storyline escalated further when Triple H walked to the ring with a serious expression, addressing the WWE Universe with a sense of responsibility and remorse. As Chief Content Officer within the narrative, he declared that WWE would be introducing new safety procedures, highlighting an internal struggle within the fictional company about how much performers push themselves to deliver unforgettable moments. His promo was emotional, powerful, and laced with the kind of sincerity that made the storyline feel bigger than championships or rivalries. A fictional scandal takes shape. The plot thickened when whispers of internal negligence became part of the scripted drama. Former superstars, fictional ones created solely for this narrative, spoke out in backstage interviews about their own ignored concerns. The story began hinting at a larger systemic issue within the fictional version of WWE, building toward a confrontation that could reshape the company's entire culture on screen. Fans were hooked, knowing the next chapter would expose even more conflict, secrets, and emotional fallout. Becky Lynch's strength shines. In the weeks that followed, Becky became the face of the storyline. Her promos were raw yet empowering, filled with grief, tension, and a fierce determination to expose what happened in that ring. She questioned whether she could continue her career while carrying the weight of the storyline's emotional trauma, giving fans some of the most powerful segments of her career. Becky wasn't portrayed as just a champion. She was portrayed as a human being fighting for truth, justice, and the love of her life. The wrestling world unites. The WWE Universe responded with overwhelming support in the fictional narrative. Signs filled the arenas. Social media within the story exploded with messages of love for Seth, admiration for Becky, and calls for change. Fans organized fictional charity streams, tribute nights, and collaborative projects meant to honor the visionary's legacy. It became more than a storyline. It became a worldwide emotional event within the WWE Universe. A legacy that lives on in the story. To honor Seth within the narrative, WWE launched a fictional Seth Rollins safety initiative, a scripted program dedicated to improving wrestler well-being, training, and emergency protocols. Becky Lynch appeared at its debut ceremony, delivering an emotional speech about the importance of protecting performers. It was a powerful moment meant to tie the entire storyline together, giving closure to one chapter while opening the door to another. A final tribute to the visionary. The storyline concluded with a breathtaking tribute video featuring Seth's greatest matches, promos, and moments from his career. The fans chanted his name in unison, filling the arena with an energy that transcended the narrative. It was a reminder of the power of storytelling, the bond between performers and fans, and the emotional depth wrestling can reach when done with passion and heart.